Hi guys, I wanted to look at a couple examples that can be a little bit trickier. This goes with the week 2, day 1 homework. In particular, these ones are similar to question G, J, and L on your homework. And what makes these different is the order that the terms here are written in. Normally we have an X term or a variable term, a letter term first, and then the number. But you can see that these are in the other order. So this has -2 plus 3x equals -17. So we're going to start it the same way that we've done the other ones, and we're going to put our dotted line down. Now remember, we're going to undo the addition or subtraction first. So that means getting rid of the piece of the equation that's with the x term or the variable term, whatever your letter is, but that's not the multiplication or division. So it's something plus or minus. And normally we might see this as 3x minus 2. That I think most of you guys are really good with, that you would say, oh, I have to get rid of the plus something or the minus something. But here it's a little different order. So the multiplication is between this 3 and the x. So this one is what we have to get rid of first. So we have a -2 or a -2. So what we're going to do there is add 2, and that will get rid of that -2. So again, we have to make sure to do that on the same on both sides. So we're going to undo that -2. Sometimes you guys cancel those out, maybe you don't. But all we would be left with here on the left is my 3x. And then again, super careful with these integers once you have negative numbers. I have a -17 on the right side, and when I add 2 to that, I get -15. You can do that on a calculator or use your phone as a calculator. Or if you want to think about it, sometimes temperature helps. Thinking about temperature outside, like it was really cold, it was -17 degrees and it got +2, so it went 2 degrees warmer. Now it's only -15 degrees. So once people undo this and kind of recognizing that it doesn't matter the order this is written in, it's the number that's on the same side as the x but not the one multiplied by it, that you have to undo. Now we have multiplication, so this step is probably easy for most of you. It's 3x equals -15, so the opposite of multiplication, we want to undo that multiplying by 3. So I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. And then x equals, again, super careful with the integers. If you have a negative number divided by a positive, your answer is negative, so that's -5. Okay, I'm going to do another one over here. Very similar format. 5 minus 2x equals -7. So what's with the x? We've got this 5 and we have a 2. Now we can see that the 2 is the multiplication for sure. So the first step to undo is to undo this 5. I'm going to have to do the opposite, and this 5 is a positive, so the opposite, to get rid of that 5, I need to subtract 5, and I'm going to put my dotted line down to show both sides of the equation, and I have to subtract 5 from both sides of that equation. This undoes this 5 here, so all I'm left with is this term here. The negative in front of the 2 stays with that, so it's -2x equals, and then again, maybe thinking about temperature can help if you're struggling with the integer stuff, -7 minus 5. So if it was -7 degrees out and it got 5 degrees colder, it's going bigger into the negative, so that would give you -12. And again, you can watch the other video to look at different ways, depending on the type of calculator you have, of typing in a negative. If you're still struggling with this, you could take a picture of the calculator you're using and post that on Google Classroom, and we can try and help you out with your specific calculator if you're struggling with how to use it for negatives. From here, we have -2 times x equals -12. The opposite of the multiplying is dividing, so I'm going to divide by -2. And we're going to cover this more detail later. In the later part of this unit, but if we have a negative divided by a negative and it's two negatives, that's going to give you a positive number. So it's negative 12 divided by negative 2 is positive 6. If it's a positive, you don't need to write it, but if you put a plus there, that's fine. Usually we don't bother writing the sign. If it's positive, we just put the number 6. Okay, I hope that helps. Again, that is for your day 1 homework. That's very similar to questions. I'll write this down. Day 1 homework, questions G, J, and L. So they're towards the end in that homework assignment. These ones are very similar to the two that I just did. So hopefully that helps you out with those. Okay.